So I'm going to give this my best shot based on the experience I have already. Relationship problems. You have them. Let me explain. It appears today that you have a few problems. Men getting in the way of men, women getting in the way of women. Let me go further with that. Men, stop comparing yourselves to each other and encourage yourselves to be the best, most happy versions of yourself you may be. Also, men, stop hoarding all the women. Women, stop giving yourselves to one man. You're only going to create a breeding ground for jealousy, and no matter how much you try, you're lying to yourself if you say there is none. And while your silent jealousy waits on the inside passively for its victim, it's either going to be someone around you or yourself when you're done. Now, women, you parallel this characteristic of men in your own way. Here's what I mean. Men are men, women are women. Women understand women best, not the man. Women will create a world where a man is needed, but the world creates itself to need itself the way that it is always, with or without the woman. Men know that. Likewise, we love you. You're part of this, with or without that sequence that gives procreation its process. That sequence is temporary. It does not define the individual you are, woman or man or woman, at all. It is just part of the spectrum of ideas that we learn about and grow through. Not out of, but through. With and into our own understanding, like I'm doing now. You also have another problem. It isn't competition so much. Jealousy will kill us, but so will ignorance. Now let me explain. To each their own. That's fine. If your orientation does not put plus and minus together too well, your equal sign doesn't devalue or depreciate the spectrum outside of that realm or idea of thought, simply because your experience here is not defined by that. If that's where you get your jollies, great. Go do it and go be equal to everyone else. It will be as equal as it may. What it will not do is tell us how to live today, any more than we have told you. We get out of each other's way because, again, the experience has much more to offer than what your genders could offer you. You, the being inside, could offer yourself way more than any of those ideas ever could if you could get away from that idea entirely to sit with a new idea, which is that you are simply here being. That being doesn't have to be burdened by lesser ideas, because those ideas get you hurt, will get you burned. It's not your prime to be in that function for as long as you have. If you want your prime, then you need to be completely separate from that function to control it entirely. That will give you more control over your reality, as far as your emotions are concerned. Your reality controls the rest. Again, does not need your gender for it to be its best real you. That is the you, and the unique nature we are here to discover at our own pace, also. It's not a race. There is no pass or fail. You are simply passing through. However, most of you are still in relationships and will be participating in that world that I named synonymously, while in parallel with this new idea that I'm giving you also, you could, if indeed you are so apt to be inclined to be this way, be this way and still live within the realm of a relationship as long as you understand it is a spectrum and that is just part of it. Will you have less time with yourself, with this spectrum of options to donate your effort and energy into life the way you want to? Probably. Relationships are work. No more or better than the ones outside of that confine for situations that would lead to procreation only. That's the only reason. It's natural selection. What a woman defines for a man doesn't always sit well with a man, especially if men start to and or have the inclination to compete with a woman's status because it's quote unquote easy for her. Likewise, a man, if it's a man, understands what I just said and isn't complaining about it, is apt to listen, will understand you, will support you, and give you all the nurturing you need. That's a perfect relationship if they exist. They do. What I often run into now is the parts of me that do not. The reason I'm here with you like this in a class I don't feel necessarily involved with is because, like any class, it has a teacher. Well, I have a teacher of teachers inside my heart giving you this experience because it said my children might like this information. It's worth it. So I will give it to myself first because I did. Them second because they come next in line for the information. And then anyone by proxy if they feel apt and so inclined to absorb this information. Up until this point, I haven't had a clue if you cared or not. If you do, good. If you don't, good. I don't know why you're here listening. Well, I do, I just don't like what I find. So, men will not help women define what a woman wants because a woman wants what a woman wants. Women will not define what a man is because a man is what a man is. Also, a man won't bitch about what you think a man should be because a man knows it's their job to listen to a woman if they're in that position with you. And outside of that is real women and men who also do not live in that environment. We'll call them celibates. At least that's a good definition for them today. At some point, they might be something else. We'll say sentient. Quintessently sexy. Yes. The mind is a beautiful thing, especially unified. It's not to get away from the topic too much, but that's what you would do. Outside of that, you're going to search for something else. But typically when you've done this, it's for a number of reasons. A, you're just like that. Congratulations, being the most rare variable on the planet and the universe. And then there's others who go through traumatic relationships, whether it be A, in the home, watching them when you grow up, or B, making your own attempts afterwards and finding that it's not good in the home. If you had a good life growing up, that's for you. If you did not, you just got a double whammy. It's hard to go out and make something you're not also when you've been around that a lot yourself. Man or woman, doesn't matter. You, the being, absorbs information unilaterally. We'll call that the uniparallel. Is there ever such a thing if it's unified? No, but it could be, because it's all in one. I am happening now. And I've got a lot of information about that too, so what I do with me outside with my efforts when I'm not touching base with that spectrum of myself, you'll always be part of that. That will always be part of my life that isn't my prime purpose, because that changes all the time. We change our purpose in life when we feel like the purpose we gave ourselves before doesn't work. So back to what I said. You get a double whammy if that doesn't work. And you go out doing something else. Well, what else would you do? Search the world with your heart. You gotta find something to do. You're gonna sit around boo-hooing over everybody else's life. And if you did that, then stop doing it. You'll feel much better. You'll have so much more room for activities. You'll be able to free your mind. Again, giving yourself more space to do what I'm saying you could be doing now, which is sharing your life with others any way you see fit. Learn. Get out into the world. Become bilingual. Learn a new language. Learn every language. And then my favorite language is silence, because that's where I get a lot of my best ideas. But they have a theory behind this too. I agree. I got the information the same way with you, and it's a collective conscious. There's zero information, which is nice. It's good for like shutting down. If you were going to recharge, that's a great way to do it, especially after a long spiritual struggle. But that zero space is also the space where you design the zero to come out with zero information. If you're there long enough, then you come out, you still participate with everyone else, like you always did, unless you stayed there too long. So I digress. Back to where we were with the mess of relationships. You're going to be part of that. If you made it this far, congratulations. I'm long-winded and spin. Come back to point. Congratulations, yeah. You get to be part of relationships and do what I'm doing, because you function well like that. You're the anomaly I spoke of earlier, the variable X. You're awesome. Just remember, while I'm doing this, the salt and peppers here, I have to give you the other options, which don't function like you, though they are still very fiercely unique pieces of a conclusion that sit well to function well in a conversation, civil, to appreciate the value that you have separate from mine, even though they are not uniquely the same. Thank you. That's why we have this word. So unity is a fun word. It can be unified or unique. But if you are unique, then you wouldn't be unified as one. To be that one would be one by itself. What makes us unique is that we are connected to that one mind self. As yourself, remembering we're separate selves. To give that zero space I spoke of earlier purpose, what you do with that is become what you are already. Except that you are separate from this one that you are already also. To be like that, you are now. To be that, you are not. That is the beauty of life and what it puts out. So thanks. I love what we made. That's why. It's touching base with every little piece of it that made it possible. So thank you, Mom and Dad, siblings, midlife, afterlife. Oh. And then all the little innings. Yeah, there's me over there in left field. One day I get upgraded. Shortstop. In short, just stop that. Just stop it. And don't be surprised if you're just reaching up one day and while you're catching the sun, you catch a pop fly too. It comes right to your glove for you. It was the last out too. You got what you needed. It's done. So I may not have got to hit my home runs, during the actual game, though I hit a few. Bases loaded. It was that one play that made the difference. And all I was doing in left field was trading positions with the middle right. I stuck my hand up with my glove, reaching for the sun, playing. Couldn't see anything. I was blind by that point. I hear it. Ding. Of course, attention, focus, back to the game. Can't see anything. Ball is flying up in the air like I can't see it. Where is it? But for some reason, my glove was still catching the sun because I'm slow. Like real slow. And I'm looking up. This could have hit me in the face. Could have been bad. Where did it go? Everybody watched me. I didn't move my feet. I was standing still. And the ball fell right into my glove. I was catching the sun. So that's a real story. That's why I laugh. My inside jokes. And if you were part of that, you know where that was. You know when it happened, and it was fun. That was amazing. That was awesome. Talk about being at the right place at the right time. My coach gave me a hug I will never forget. I couldn't breathe for 2 minutes, and I shrugged it off. I toughed it out too. I pretended like I could. I couldn't breathe because he was so excited. Everybody was so excited. He slapped me on the back so hard. Bam! Good job. Good job. Yeah, I can't breathe. He hit me hard. But we were that excited. So it's okay. It was fun. That was David Bell. Good times. So, Tommy Mitchell and a few others along the lines. These are the names I will always remember for being some of the most beautiful days of my life. So in hindsight 2020, that's what relationships are for. You would be the variable X. Was it probably as clean as I said it was? No, but that's what makes relationships awesome. You know how to struggle to keep them alive. And by keeping them alive, you build strength. And through these struggles, the strength becomes, by eyewitness account, something we admire. Since we admire you, we will never forget. What we do not forget lives forever. What lives forever in my heart lives forever, because I know that we are, and I am. So, I give value where there was none, a new variable with the sun. I give information. This is for my children, of course, but for all of you, for myself. Also to remind myself when I am not feeling as one-ish as I like to be, that there are others out there who struggle just like you to get where you are. You look perfect. You are perfect. Because even though with our imperfections we claimed they were not, we found a way to be because of love. That's your superpower. So if you have that kind of relationship, I don't care what your gender is in the hour. You find it with yourselves to find yourselves where you find yourselves. That's natural selection. Don't complain about something that just is none of your business. That's what it comes down to. If it's not your problem, it's not your problem. You act like the gay man's gonna steal your wife, or vice versa. But I'll tell you something, I got something for you guys and gals. Here's a how for you. And this is to teach you to stop thinking with your shaboink boink, or your shwing swing, or whatever you want to call that thing. The abyss, the void of the unknown, the absent one. So, yeah, how it will be for you, a straight man, if you're homophobic, you're just gonna have to get over it because they're not stealing your wife, and we're gonna prove it. Your hell is gonna be nothing but gay men all over each other, just a big old sausage fest. And your straightness will be straightened out. You'll just sit there until it doesn't bother you anymore. Vice versa. Women, same thing. You'll sit in a room full of gay men until it doesn't bother you. Somehow. No, you don't get to watch gay women. That's natural for some reason. It just means she likes what I like. Okay. Now for women, likewise. If you're a straight woman who is a homophobe, you will be destined to watch women on women. Now I'll be watching this hell, personally, because there's nothing like watching someone struggle when they shouldn't, because it's none of their fucking business. And enjoying every bit of it. Yeah, that's the one. He's in there. I told you, it's part of us. So I'm with it. It likes jokes, because more importantly, I'm also with the education. There's more to life than leading with your shit boing boing, like I said. So if we're done with Gordon Ramsay's kitchen and the hell of my entertainment, I'm happy to whip up a dessert you've never had before in my silence when I'm done. Please take this information lightly. Do not, rain hot acid down my throat, dissolve my testicles, or turn my guts into snakes. You can keep all of my money. Go spend it on drugs. I won't watch. I'll walk out. I'll stop. Won't listen. And I hope I don't see you after the show. See, things change. But I was on the other side of that fence once, so don't get upset. It's not like I wasn't there. I was King Guru once, too. Now King Ho-Ho was looking for ho-hos and said hi to Christy Ho-Ho. And then met a Grinch float down with Christmas presents and give a long speech winded about how it came without boxes and tags, and gave worth to where there were homos, not fags. We're all homo sapiens, right? Kind of wonder what that means. So, in a world where we do not procreate with our fingers, our legs, or our seams, well, it's the mind that we procreate with. That's the most attractive part. So, here's the best part of the secret of my art. We're here with birds and the bees all day. They're going to teach you what we do not. Even without that, the Discovery Channel says, hello, we do this a lot. And we are animals, we are in motion. But animals are what is in motion, to be unanimous. So if we're going to, please do it with love. Don't do it to fuss. If you're going to fuss, do that somewhere else, far away from us. Far away from us. And learn to cure your anger with silence. I've given you perfect scenarios for things that are absolutely hilarious to me. At the end of this, the information is all it is, you see. It's not something you hunt. You would only hunt yourself, and my barrel, and this eye, only aims at myself always, so if I said it to me, it's because I'm happy to say it to you also. Why would I say this in my own mind, and not give it to you as well? Unless it was dirty thoughts. Do I have those? I don't know. It's been a while. Let's not try. I'm doing good. Keeping it clean. So back to my story. It seems I got off track, though I'm not. I'm just circling around, coming back like Spyro the Dragon. I got a few seconds left on the clock to finish this scene. The information is all it is, to keep it clean. I like jokes. I like to laugh like everyone does. I got kids here. It's for them, Fuzz. That's the nickname for someone I know they love too. And to that family, I love you. because of you, my patience grows. We're all on God's time. But the time is not the problem, I suppose. I'm not worried about time corrupting itself. It will be until it is not. And for us, if we're aware of it, with all that I've got, I value that most because it's all that I've got left. Outside of this, we are timeless, of course, but I will not be able to give you these words of yours when they are not mine. That's because I gave them to you equally. Just like anyone else, I did not charge you. Only my effort and love did I pay for these. So by that alone, they were bought and paid for by my blood, sweat, and tears. After all of these years, I love you. That's genuine, sincere. I miss my wife. I miss my kids. So what it is what it is. I won't continue missing something that I love and let it hurt me. That's what the zero space is for. So when I kick it in, that's not for war, it's to help you understand I'm working, and I work well. That's why. If I'm going to continue to work well, I have to be at optimum efficiency, which means I have to love my life. So we won't allow others, if you are one like this, brothers and sisters, don't miss your chance to hold this information well in your heart today. It's your information if you like it. You don't deserve to be brought down by others. You will only bring yourself down when you do. Also, equally, sometimes it's good to be brought down by others. When you yourself get too big for yourself, like sometimes we often do. So be humble. That's what that means. Or you'll be humbled. Humiliation seems to be the way you find that to adjust your new attitude to a new attitude. If indeed the old attitude has grown in a magnitude too bright for ours as well. Others are enjoying what they see too. If you get in the way of what they love, then they have to get in the way too, often.